of the year.
That was beautiful.
Spending so much money. Spending so much money. Spending money. Spending so much money. Spending money.
Hello and welcome once again to the Valley Mills Christian Church podcast. I'm Joe McNeil, the Spiritual Growth Coordinator.
I'm Ezra Davis, the Student Minister.
And I'm Mark Steer, the Worship Arts Minister.
And I feel like we should always say something afterwards. I'm like, we are, but it just doesn't ever seem right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need to
Anyway.
work on that.
We can't be like Captain Planet, where we have
Captain, by our powers combined.
We're missing two people.
Yep. I mean, I feel like the guy with the heart ring didn't really contribute much anyway.
That's true, but we're still missing one person if
That's
we
true.
count him out. But
I
anyway.
don't know. Maybe it's you. Anyway, we're sitting here after Thanksgiving weekend, Black Friday, and all that other fun stuff, and we're going to talk a little bit today about spending some money and gift giving and the whole entire commercialized aspect of Christmas, but not in a heavy-handed way. Before you hit the stop button, we're not going to do anything like that. It's just kind of a really just kind of anecdotal information and about those various topics. So I'll start off this time. I usually let you guys start off, but I'll go first this time. So I let you, like I'm allowed. Like I'm allowing you to go first. I'm just kidding. I have no power here. So what my wife and I have done the last few years is we kind of noticed that my family's spoils my children. They buy them lots of stuff, and it's kind of aggravating to an extent because as parents, we're like, we can't compete with someone who doesn't have, the financial responsibilities that we have. But we don't want to be mad at it either because they love their nieces and nephews, and they want to buy gifts for them, and that should be fine. So we thought about doing something, not necessarily contrary to that, but my wife, I don't know if she saw it on Pinterest or Facebook or something like that, but she saw that somebody else was doing, it's 4 gifts that you give each person, and it's something to wear, something to read, something you want, and something you need. So it's kind of a nice little rhyme thing, but what we do is we look at each child and we try and make it a meaningful gift fitting those criteria. So, we get them something to read, something that they wear, and sometimes there's some overlap there if it's something they want and something that they can read at the same time, but maybe it's nicer and more expensive, then, we can combine that too. But I'll be honest, it's gone over really well, and my kids, and maybe my kids are special, but they didn't throw this thermonuclear fit about not getting a million gifts from us. They actually kind of liked the more personal aspect instead of, oh, you got me 12 Lego sets. I mean, they would love 12 Lego sets, and if you know my family, Lego's like more popular than money in my house. But anyway, so they liked it though. They liked it a lot, and my wife and I do that for each other too. And that's just something that we adopted from somebody else's idea. I don't know who started that, but thanks. And yeah, but it's good. And if you haven't heard of that, that might be an option for you, especially if you're thinking budgetarily that you don't want to shell out gobs of money on people for Christmas. I mean, it's hard enough when you have to buy for in-laws and, your second cousin who just happens to show up at Christmas to get a handout, that kind of thing. So I don't have a second cousin. That isn't directed towards anybody. So at least that I know of. Anyway, but what do you guys do Christmas-wise? What's something that you do? I know, Ezra, you've got a young daughter. Mm-hmm. So what have you kind of been doing these
So
past
I've gotten
years?
3 years of experience having a kid. So I feel like an expert. Not really. But Kensington is our only kid on both sides, or only kid on both sides. Only grandkid on both sides of the family. So my brother and his wife don't have kids yet. I had a lengthy conversation this weekend about him and his wife having kids, which he told me that no is basically what he said. But then also Danielle's sister and her husband are literally just got married this year. So children are not even on the radar. But so we've kind of had the ability to kind of take our traditions on both sides and kind of mold them. And the way we do gifts for her is the same way. My parents and my in-laws, they spend out the wazoo on gifts for her. It's not even like I feel like I go when I go to my parents' house, I feel like it's Christmas evening every single time, because I'm always getting something, whether it be a bag full of goodies, full of candy, whatever. But no, around Christmas time, we usually let them handle like books, just different things like sentimental stuff, which is usually a lot of different stuff like Poppy from the movie Trolls and stuff like that. My daughter was really into last year. And then Danielle and I handle handle her big gift. Danielle's side believes in Santa. They know where the gifts come from, but they still believe in Santa. If you guys are out there, Santa's real. For those of you that do not believe in Santa, good job. But anyway,
I just have this fundamental issue with giving the credit of the things I bought with my hard-earned money to some mythological fat guy that comes down my chimney.
I totally agree.
So
totally agree.
I don't think that's.
But that's kind of a thing where we kind of, we could debate on Santa not being real another time.
We could say it from the pulpit when all the kids are. I was at a church where that actually happened.
Oh my!
Yes, the pastor
lot of
thought it was a
angry
really good
parents.
idea while all the kids were in there to take a good Christian stance against the terrible Santa Claus and
Pagan Santa Claus.
That was really awkward, and I'm glad I don't go to that church anymore.
But no, I do have to say this: if it wasn't for Danielle and her money savvy buying options, we wouldn't be able to get our daughter the things that we think that she would love and adore.
Sure.
So this Christmas we are getting her big gift is a carriage that you drive. I'm really scared about it because I've heard horror stories. Like I've been reading the reviews ever since we put it in layaway. And even that, I mean, it was on sale. We jumped on it and put it on layaway, and it was on sale for a little bit of nothing. So we were able to make payments on it. And, but no, that's her big gift this year. So we kind of handle, Danielle and I handle her big gift, and then our parents handle kind of the smaller gifts. Gift giving for, myself and Danielle, I'm a habitual. Hey, this is the limit that we're going to spend. I'm going to go like $50 over every single year for Danielle, just because I love the way that I love giving my wife gifts and watching her face open them. For instance, I got a good deal on a knife
Her
set.
face opens the presents.
Yeah. Anyway, Mark.
He derailed his train of thought.
You did. But no, I got her a knife set, and she's been wanting a knife set because the one that I picked out 5 years ago
For
was
reasons.
ugly. Yeah, for reasons. She also took a life insurance policy on me
It's what you call
last week.
coincidence, right?
So if I come up missing, guys,
Yeah.
you know where to go to.
Yeah, we'll check for any missing knives out of that knife set.
Yeah.
So, Mark, this is your first Christmas married.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
So, what's that going to look like for you? So
No
hang on.
idea, really.
JJ, listen to this podcast.
The fact that they have put up their Christmas decorations like 5 months ago or something. I can't. When you moved in, I think it was the first thing you
it was
unboxed.
August.
It was pretty
It
early.
was the first thing you opened. You're like,
like
oh, it's a Christmas tree. We'll throw it up.
No, it was first day of fall, so whenever that is. What is that? October?
Way too early.
September
I don't know.
20th?
September, late
20th?
September.
21st?
So for the person who was decorated extremely early,
Yeah.
you seem to not know.
Oh, we've put up more decorations, kind of just adding on, as
Yes,
we go.
but what
so.
about the gifts?
The gifts?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the way it's going to look like for us, we have our Christmas gift shopping done already.
Good.
And they're all wrapped and everything. So ready to give out. And, usually, in the past I've been really like kind of the procrastinator on that end of it. Sometimes I find myself on Christmas Eve like going out to Walmart real quick and like,
Nice.
getting something.
I've been like, see,
Been there.
so I'm kind of that way,
Been
but for a different reason. Like if I buy my wife's gift too early, I end up just giving it to her or telling her about it. So
yeah.
I'll wait until like next to the last minute, just because I don't want to ruin the surprise because I know I can't hold it in.
That's a good reason.
I can't trust myself.
Yeah. And I think for JJ and I, what we've done, even when we were dating, we didn't really buy each other anything like expensive or anything. And I think that's just a kind of a good starting point. It's a really good kind of forecasting what we're going to do for our marriage. So we've already decided that we're only going to get each other like stocking stuffers and everything like that, like nothing too extravagant. And we kept, to pretty good to our budget and everything for paying for everybody else's gifts. But for us, we're just happy, being married and everything. So that's really, all we need. So
This guy. Well, good for you.
Yeah.
I know that there's probably a little bit of honeymoon phase, maybe a little bit with that, but that's like don't
totally
let that
fine.
don't let that run.
I'm laughing because of that reason.
yeah.
Hold on to it as long as
Yes,
you can.
soak it in and love it to all it is worth.
All right. I will.
It's all good. But we'd like to hear what you guys do Christmas-wise. If you guys have any fun Christmas, what's the word? Rituals, not rituals.
Traditions.
Traditions.
Yeah,
That's the one. Yeah, not rituals. Like we're cultists sacrificing to some
So
weird thing.
Kool-Aid.
I don't know what happened there. But yeah, we'd like to hear about your Christmas
No,
traditions.
weird.
Just let us know. See, maybe that's why they hated Santa Claus. Maybe
Yeah.
they thought it was some ritualistic satanic
Probably what
thing.
it is.
So there we go. We're on to something. And we'll maybe pick that up after the break, but probably not. All right, and we're back. And unfortunately, we are not going to talk about Christmas rituals. So if you stuck around just for that, I apologize. But we are not going to talk about that. In fact, we're going to kind of talk on the flip side of things. This time of year is very stressful for a lot of people. And we're still going to stay on the whole financial aspect of Christmas. But we're going to kind of take a look a little bit at the darker side and hopefully encourage some of you that might be struggling or dealing with that kind of thing. Because I know myself, I've been there before too. So, and what I'm talking specifically about is it's not a good idea to go into debt or large amounts of debt to make a special Christmas for somebody. So, my family at times when I was growing up, we were poor. And I think for me, materialistic things like owning things, collecting things became a therapy for me, and it became something that I strove for, and I felt like it was a completion thing or something that fixed what was wrong and how poor we were and how much strife and turmoil that caused. But the crazy thing is that it creates other kinds of turmoil. So when my kids were growing up, I felt like I needed to go all out and spend all this money to buy all this stuff to give them great Christmases because I didn't have it. No, I'm going to buy them because I didn't have it. And maybe you're thinking that too. But what's left is you have all this debt that takes you 6, 7, 8 months to pay off, and sometimes even longer. I just paid off my debt completely in January of 2018, and I'm pretty sure some of that debt was still from Christmases past. It's the ghost of Christmas past, if you will. And that's terrible, and that's not something that is good to be under that much debt just so that you can have one amazing holiday, and then all that stuff gets shoved in a corner or in a closet or any of this other stuff. Like, it's not worth it. And now that we've switched to the way that we do gifts with the children, they're just as happy, and there's less clutter, and we're not going into crazy amounts of debt, so that's good. So if you're out there and you think that that's something that you need to do, like just check yourself and get some advice, because I don't think that that's a good idea. I don't think anybody ever was made realistically or genuinely happy because they owned more stuff. Like I don't think I've ever heard a tale or fable where it's like, oh, I collected all these things and owned everything, and now I'm fine and I live happily ever after. Like there's plenty of stories to the contrary where, owning too much stuff is a problem. So that took many years for me to get through, and it created a lot of dark issues, with my wife and I, a lot of money stress and things like that. But just trying to fulfill some kind of need by throwing money at it or throwing more gifts at it isn't an answer. You know what I mean? So hopefully if you're struggling with that, that's some encouragement to you. But let's take a look a little further and think more on the kind of the darker commercialistic side of Christmas here, and why that's wrong and what we can do about it.
I can go. I think it's kind of a sad reality that we live in today in our society, is that we're a very consumeristic society, and it's large part and due to a lot of advertisements, whether we hear it on the radio or see it on the television or YouTube or whatnot. It's like almost impossible to go anywhere and not see something being advertised. And the main goal for these marketing ploys is to make the customers feel like they need something, or that and that they actually really don't need. And it's just it's kind of a very tricky way of doing it, and almost kind of,
it's like make Christmas more special.
Yeah.
Like, where's the statistical or factual evidence behind that?
Mm-hmm. It's just kind of sad, because I think a lot of people, even like myself as a kid, I mean, of course, as kids, you like getting things and toys and everything. You don't know any better, but when you get to be like an adult, it's almost like a stress that almost shouldn't even be there. Just because I think if it's dangerous if you link happiness to how many presents you're getting your kids, or maybe it's something that if you're in that situation that maybe getting those gifts and everything won't truly solve the underlying problem or whatever. If it's a relationship thing, then I think outside of Christmas you should be working towards making those relationships better, and doing other things with your kids and sharing experiences.
Absolutely.
And not, or even if it's with your wife or family member, your parents or brother or sister, it's tell them that you love them, show them throughout the whole year, not just Christmas, and dump all these bunch of gifts and act like it's like a Band-Aid on the situation.
Yeah. Well, think about the quality time you could be spending if you didn't have to work so much to pay off all the debt for that stuff. I know my kids would much rather me hang out with them and spend time with them than for me to buy them things. So, and I'm pretty sure that your kids would probably be the same too.
Well, that's what I've tried to tell at least my parents, and Danielle's tried to tell her parents is, hey, let's quit on the little knick-knack stuff. We can buy her all that all day long if we really wanted to. Go for more experience stuff. So, for instance, and I really, really hate this, but going to the zoo, I don't know if you guys know this, going to the zoo, Danielle and I dropped $85 this summer just on admission to the zoo. Yeah. That's not counting food. Yep. That's not counting anything else. That's just counting admission.
And I think if you go at least like twice, you've made your money back by buying the pass.
By buying the pass. And I told my mom, she asked me, she goes, this was back in September before Kensington's birthday. And she goes, what should I buy Kensington for her birthday or Christmas, whatever. And I said, buy her a zoo pass.
Yeah.
So you and Dad could go, take off, whatever.
That's fantastic.
And on top of that zoo pass gets you like, I think, the grandparent. If you buy the grandparents pass, it gets you both grandparents in, the mom and dad and the kid, like 5 kids in for free. And by the time you pay, actually, if all those slots are covered on the first time, that $120 is covered. And that's for the whole year. And I keep telling my mom this.
We did that one year, and I can't count how many times we went just because it was like, we have a pass, let's just go.
Right.
And it was something fun and easy to do because we already had a pass and it was worth doing. But I do want to add that the Valley Mills Christian Church podcast is not sponsored by the Indianapolis Zoo.
No.
But we could be. So give us a call and we'll work
If
something
you're
out.
listening to this,
We'll take
employees.
free
I would love
passes.
to pet a tiger or
I don't
a
like
lion or
no,
dolphin.
the-
A dolphin.
I'm gonna lose a hand.
Did you not hear that the female lion just killed the male lion like 2 weeks ago? At the
Okay,
zoo?
scratch that.
Yeah, you don't want to pet that.
What about a dolphin
That's fine.
or a stingray or a shark?
Yeah.
Although I don't want to pet
Steve
something
Irwin.
slimy. So that's weird.
I want to swim with the. We're getting off topic. Anyway. Anyway.
I know what Ezra wants for Christmas.
the dolphins. Anyway, but no, I really we're trying to stress this, and I know that being the only granddaughter that is on both sides, Ken's has a unique set of I can just get whatever I want because all I have to do is ask one set of grandparents or the other, and that's honestly, if you think back, for at least for me, I don't know about our listeners or you two, but for me, that's what I remember the most. I only remember one toy that I ever got, and that was the Tonka truck, where you like ripped it and like you slammed your fist down on the top of it, and it shot out. Maybe it was a '90s kid thing. I don't know, but I remember that's the only toy that I remember, and I've gotten lots of toys. The things that I remember are the experiences. I remember during this time, or actually during like January, February, going ice fishing with my dad. My brother and I would go ice fishing with my dad, and just different experiences throughout life and throughout my childhood. I never remembered, how little or how bad that I got, what Christmas was, or what gifts I got, what gifts I didn't get, or anything like that. So that's my take on it. Is I just think that a lot of times, gifts are great. We give gifts and we give them to our faces blue, and then we eventually throw them away, like Joe said.
The gift is only as meaningful as the thought behind it.
Right. And then one thing that I was going to add is I absolutely hate Black Friday. Actually, I think it's Black Thursday now, but
GameStop opened at 3:00 on Thursday.
I know.
It's crazy.
I just absolutely hate it, just because I don't like people stay up to like 3 a.m. just to get the spot in line. And a couple years back, a few years back actually, I had a bad experience. A lady followed me and Danielle around a store just because there was only 4 things that we were the crickets actually. If you don't know what that is, it's a die cut machine. There was only 4 of them in the store, and Danielle and I got one of them, and this lady followed us around and literally walks up to me and goes, "I'm going to jump you for that." And I was like, okay, let's go. But no, it's just, Black Friday to me is just, I would rather not. I know that there's some people that are listening to us that love Black Friday. They make an event of it. I know a couple families that they literally eat Thanksgiving meal. They go get their coffee, and then they go start lining up for deals and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that it's evil, it's satanic or anything like that to go Black Friday shopping. It's just not for me, and I just hate it.
I love people watching.
Yeah.
Like I'll go
That's
just to
it's
watch people. I might
Yeah.
pick up a movie or two for myself because they usually have like really cheap movies or something. But man, I love it. I love you don't like locally, and I know it's not this way everywhere, but like locally, it's really not that violent.
It's not bad.
You know,
No.
I like seeing the genuine excitement that people get, and they're like, "Yeah, Christmas season has started, and it's cool." And I know it's a little bit contrary to what we've just been talking about, but no, I like that. I like seeing people care about something. I think that's what I get out of it. And but there is some nastiness too. I mean, I'd hate for a lady to follow me around wanting my cricket. I don't know what that is.
I didn't know what it was until I brought it up.
But anyway, so this holiday season, hug your family, bring them close, and be thoughtful in the gifts that you're giving. And if you're not planning on like putting thought or caring about what you're doing, like just don't buy it. It's not worth it to you. It's not worth it to them. And my family likes to do this ridiculous thing where when, they ask, what do you want? We all get each other gifts based on what we've told each other. And it's like, there's no surprise to it. It's basically my family has sucked all the fun out of it and made it this efficient exercise. and it's just like, I like the efficiency of it. I appreciate it. However, it's like, what's the point? Why buy a gift where I'm like, okay, you're going to get so-and-so this, you're going to get so-and-so this. And then it's like, that's it. And you open it knowing full well exactly what's behind the wrapper. Okay, yep, this is exactly what I asked for. Thank you. Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
I tell you, and I know this is probably kind of a roundabout like rabbit hole that we're going down to, but Danielle's side, we started doing. I started dating Danielle in high school, and I kind of got wrapped up into this in their family, and then also I started telling my aunt and all my family members what they do is because the same similar situation happened in my family. Hey, you buy for this, this, and this, and you're going to get this, and you're going to get that. And it was just stupid.
Yeah.
But what
that's how my family does it.
Danielle's side does is now there's some adult gifts. And when I say adult gifts, there's like adult beverages and stuff like that happen within this Christmas thing. But basically it is an adult gift exchange, white elephant gift exchange, and the dollar amount is $25.
Yeah.
So basically, you have no clue what you're going to get. It could be one year I
would much rather do that.
It's so much fun.
Yeah,
it is so much fun. And the thing is, like I said, Danielle and I started talking to my aunt and my grandma and my dad and everybody in my side of the family. And what we've adopted that, and we've done that for, this will be our 4th year doing that, to the point where my dad, the first year that we did it, my dad got this girly gift. And I know you probably don't know my dad very well, but my dad is like a manly man. Like if you give him a girly gift, he's not going to like it. He's just going to hand it to my mom. So he goes, well, why don't we have a guy's gift exchange and a girl's gift exchange? So all the girls get girls' gifts and all the guys get guys' gifts. So every single year, my family loves the outdoors and hunting and fishing and stuff like that. So every single guy walks out with some gun-related, knife-related, something like to kill somebody.
I got a machete this year.
No joke. There's at least 5 in my gift exchange on my side of the family. And so it's fun that way because you don't know what you're going to get. I think a couple years back, we had an intern, Corbin Micaiah. He came in, like we kind of adopted him as our kid because he came in for Christmas that year because his family was in Kenya for Christmas, and he got literally got a machete and a lottery card. Anybody? I mean, you can't take it on a plane to go back to Kenya.
Right.
So, I mean, it was just funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of something that we do. That kind of changes things up a little bit, and it kind of, even though we're spending $25 a gift, it tapers down on the monotony of, well, I got to buy for this guy, this person, that person, and spending way too much money on way too much stupid stuff. So,
Mark, any other final thoughts from you?
I think we have to remember, the reason behind why we're even celebrating Christmas.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we got the greatest gift of all time. That says in the Bible that, how much a father knows how to give good gifts. Our Father in heaven, gives good gifts. So, basically just sending his son down here to, be the ultimate sacrifice and everything. That's the greatest gift of all time. So, just always have to remember that. And I realize that there's a lot of like controversy or whatever over like the date of Christmas or whatever. And I really don't think that's important. I think it's good that we have a day that we can kind of see past all the materialistic stuff and everything else, and then realize, what the season's all about.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, God gave us a gift through his son. Gifts were brought to Jesus. There's many different symbolisms of that. And this whole thing started as an homage to that. Is like giving gifts to each other to remember that we're all in this together, but that God has given us a great gift in his son. So anyway, thanks for listening. Like I said, feel free to comment below with any of your Christmas traditions. Please leave out any Christmas rituals that you might have. We don't want to have to call the police
Start
on
dancing
you.
around your Christmas tree or something.
Anyway, the audio is not going to know what just happened there, but the video is. So, Merry Christmas. Well, we'll probably have another podcast or two before Christmas. But anyway, when you're shopping out there, don't let strange women follow you.
Peace.
See ya. It's like Kool-Aid, man.
Yeah. Complete with a rumbling beforehand. It's like tearing through the wall. Okay. Do you guys have things that you want? We're still recording. There's that.